All right, people. Now that you guys are seeing this out here, I apologize. I did not enact my delay. We now have a 90-second delay, so you guys will be seeing this in 2 minutes. Um, it's me. It's sc2pluto. Uh,
What's up?
we are casting the ESL sc2 America's number 22 Open Cup, which has a $50 prize pool today. So whoever wins this, we just finished casting Monoxide versus Kellizer. Monoxide, unfortunately, did not survive that match. It is a best of one, but Kellizer moves on to the round of 32, and we're looking for our next match, actually, currently. And once we have that, then we will be able to start our next match. In the meantime, Pluto, how's your weekend been so far?
It's been pretty good so far. Didn't really do much yesterday, but did go and meet my Korean professor. So that was pretty cool. He he took us to Korea, like sort of, and he was like our professor for like an entire year. It was pretty cool, and he went up to MIT last year. So haven't seen him in a while, and we got to meet up with him yesterday and talk Korean with her. So I'm working on that.
Did you drill him on the SC2 like vernacular so that you could like say all the things like to say Vani Research Station in Korean?
Well, we did sort of teach him a little bit about StarCraft and what the game is all about. So he does understand sort of where we're coming from, and we also have like League players and stuff. So it's like every single person that learns Korean here is either like a super K-pop fan or like a video game nerd.
Hold on. So when you say super K-pop fan, do you go into their car and they've got like musician posters like plastered to the roof of their inside of their car?
I mean, yeah, it's actually right above my desk, just because I have so much stuff from like Korea. I have like a bunch of StarCraft posters, and I also have a bunch of just random K-pop posters, like just like directly above my monitor, and it's like the weirdest mix, but.
You know, it's funny you say that because, so have you ever done? Okay, so before the days of GPS, you've heard of like rally car racing, right? Where like they send you on like, all right, you got like 7 checkpoints you got to go to, right? And this is the old school, not the rally racing today where like there's a course that you go on, but like the ones where it's like, all right, you got to race from this point in the desert to this other point in the desert, right? Like the Baja is a good example, and
Yeah.
so what they used to do is you'd have a navigator, but in order to know where the heck you were going, you had to have a map. Well, the maps would be like taped or stapled to the ceiling of the car, and the navigator would have the seat like fully reclined to look on the ceiling to see where they had to go. And then the driver, of course, is driving along, and it was actually kind of a neat thing. I mentioned that because my dad actually did rally car racing for a part of a season one time, and I was like, really? I'm like, that's kind of cool. I'm like, I kind of want to like go back to the '50s and do rally car racing back when cars didn't have suspensions and like Fast and Furious and all that jazz.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and see if we can cast the Walrus in his next game.
The Walrus. Oh, it's appropriate that I mentioned the '50s because the Beatles were not the '50s but like the '60s and stuff. So that's kind of appropriate. I like that.
Cuckoo.
Yeah, exactly. Except for if I broadcast any of that on stream, we're gonna end up with some muting, and nobody wants to have their stuff muted. So. For those of you guys who are watching, I know like typically Pluto does the casting, so I appreciate those of you guys coming over from Pluto's stream. But make sure you guys still follow Pluto. If you guys are watching sc2pluto, go ahead and give him a follow as well. I'm doing it due to a technical snafu, which ironically this is the first time Pluto's actually had a technical snafu, and I just happened to be streaming today for like the first time like ever. So if there's anything you guys can suggest about the stream, either to myself, to Pluto, maybe it's the way we cast, maybe it's my overlay, cough cough, because I know that sucks. But if there's an audio issue, please let me know about the audio. That's actually most important, because I want you to be able to hear both of us. Pluto knows his shit inside and out, and I really, really appreciate his contribution to both when I cast on his stream and when he comes over to mine. So please let me know, because his input is valuable, and I want you guys to be able to hear that. Otherwise, Pluto, what do you do and how do you do it? Tell these people where they can find you during this intermission.
Swag. We've got my Twitch, obviously, because I do streaming at sc2pluto, or on Twitter at Pluto_sc2. So that's where you can sort of find us, and we will be doing this all the ESL tournaments. So that includes the Wednesday Cup and the Saturday Cup, and this one, of course. So,
Tell them what's unique about the Saturday Cup and the Wednesday Cup.
well, the Wednesday Cup is actually 2 tournaments. It's a bronze, silver, gold tournament as well as a platinum, diamond tournament. So it's sort of targeted towards people who, not necessarily world class, but still want to have fun playing in the tournament. So the Saturday Cup has 3 different tournaments. Bronze, silver is one tournament, gold, platinum another, and then diamond, masters. So all of these tournaments include the prize, which is coaching by a GM level player, masters or GM level player, and like that's in and of itself great, especially for some of the lower league players. So go ahead and sign up for those tournaments, and we'll be there. And here it looks like the Walrus actually trying to find his opponent, and he's not online.
Oh, that's unfortunate. FYI, for you guys who aren't familiar with it, there are there is a time limit. I think you only have to wait. Is it 5 minutes or 15 minutes? I think it's 15 minutes. For your I think what it is. I think it's 5 minutes
15.
up until the round of 16, and then it's 15 minutes after that due to like matches and other things. But you have a time limit. If your opponent does not show up, you can contact the ESL admins, and they will go ahead and try to reach the player. If they're if they're still not able to, then it's considered a forfeit, and you advance to the next round if your opponent doesn't show up. So,
we, as a backup, we have Kai, who's waiting on his next game. But as soon as he gets that, we will be able to cast him as a backup, along with Gamja. But Gamja's gonna be waiting for a bit.
You and I have actually casted Gamja before, I believe.
Yes, we have. And he's great to cast, obviously, because he's so good. But it is always usually a little bit one-sided up until we get to the semis or the finals, where we have some of the other really big names taking on Gamja and some of the other Korean players. So
you know what I do like though about the early rounds, and I gotta be honest about this. Like, I do enjoy seeing, I feel bad for the players that sort of get steamrolled in the early rounds, but I do enjoy the fact that these people still have got the cojones and like enthusiasm to be like, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna throw myself against the ramparts, and I'm gonna play against this amazing player because either I want to glean some information from him, or I'm just gonna try and see, maybe I'll get lucky,
Yeah.
And seeing those lower level matches is one of these things where it's like you hope for the Cinderella story. Like,
oh my god, I didn't realize, dude, but Panda Bear, me, and Game Time faced off in the first round.
Of what?
Of this tournament.
Oh, you're in this tournament?
Panda Bear, me, and Game Time. So, like, those are 2 of the top GM players, who... Oh, I'm gonna try to get in this game.
I see Game Time and Panda Bear right there.
Yeah, Panda Bear, me, and Game Time are 2 of the top level players who usually end up facing in like the finals.
Hold on, you said Panda Bear, Game Time, and who was the third one?
Panda Bear, me, and Game Time.
You, okay. You were referring to yourself, not someone named me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Panda Bear, me is a person.
Oh, Panda Bear me. Oh my god. Okay. I thought it was Panda Bear, me, Game Time. I thought you were referring to like 3 people, meaning Panda Bear, you as in Pluto.
You must have been the most confused person.
Wow, guys, by the way, I think I either need like a whole lot of caffeine or a whole lot of beer because I epically failed that entire conversation with Pluto.
Well,
I now need to see what you're saying where the guy's name is Panda Bear Me, as in one word, one name, 3 words.
Yeah, it's one name, 3 words, Panda Bear Me, and he did actually beat Game Time there, so Game Time unfortunately gets knocked out in the first round, even though he's one of the top GM players.
Wow, that's and the thing is, I wonder, the thing is though, they do have, is season 3 American qualifiers tonight also? Like, there's some ridiculous schedule for today. Have you seen this?
So like, today has been WCS in the morning, and then this tournament, I guess, if it even qualifies, and then after that, there's the WCS qualifiers, and isn't the GSL also later tonight?
Dude, there's some, like, seriously, it's like all the planets aligning all simultaneously. Like, I don't know what's going on, but like, if you're like a high-level StarCraft player, I'm very sorry because you've probably had like 12 Red Bulls today. Like,
Oh, actually, no. The GSL was last night, so it was actually this morning. It was like early in the morning today, and I mean, I guess I didn't watch it, but I did see a couple of the things on Reddit about it. Very emotional for Pule, and I'm not sure. Do you know anything about Pule?
I know the name, and I know that he is like that he rocks the GSL usually, but that's literally all I know about it. Because I'm gonna straight up admit that like I keep track of the WCS, and then I'll watch like DreamHack, but then like the IEM and then GSL, like I just can't cram in like 4 major tournaments simultaneously to do it.
So basically, here's what happens, right? Pule is a former Brood War pro gamer, right? And he was really, really good. He was like top level Brood War gamer. He sort of kept playing Brood War even after SC2 came out. And he never really started playing SC2 until 2012, when and that's really late for switching to StarCraft 2 when you're when you were a Brood War pro. So he came and joined SC2, and he was really bad at first, and everybody was telling him like, you know what, just go retire, like go into casting, or just you're not good enough to play. And he kept working, and finally in 2015 he was able to come back, help his team CJ Entis like massively in their GSL qualifiers, and he came second to last night, and it was incredibly emotional for him, and like his speech about like how he was disappointed that he got second and not first, but he's gonna come back and try later, and he thanked his mom for supporting him through like coming back to StarCraft, and it was just the most emotional possible thing for someone who used to be really good and then became really bad and then worked his way back up.
You know, and those sorts of stories were like, you don't see a whole lot of that emotion, I think, in a lot of Korean-based matches, because the thing is that they're so focused.
Man.
Yeah, they're so focused on it that they're not like American foot. Like I'm gonna put this out there. Like, you look at American like basketball and football players, they are all about the hype. There's so much narcissism and self-absorption that it almost eclipses the sport. However, that sort of energizes the fans, and so I'm glad that this guy finally was like, you know what, screw this, I'm happy, or I'm sad, or I'm something, and went crazy.
Yeah, he broke down crying on stage. It was incredibly emotional. But here we go. We've got a great match ahead of us, and this is gonna be a best of 1 between 2 really, really top level opponents.
All right, why don't you start the introductions?
Spawning in the bottom, it's gonna be our Zerg player taking out Game Time. It is Panda Bear me.
Yeah, and my zooming out skills are not all that great, so I apologize, peeps. In the 12 o'clock position, we have our Protoss player. I'm going to butcher this guy's name, so I apologize, but I believe it's Sephiroth. So we're going to say Sephirothi. We're going to make him French. It's Sephiroth. But anyway, we got Sephiroth.
It's a French-based name, but
sure. I apologize. I speak English and Spanish, no French. Pluto, do you speak any French?
Un peu.
Okay. All right. All right. You're like, all right. You're like, I know 2 words. We're good. I'm fluent. So,
whoa.
Oh.
Whoa, I see.
Oh wait, where's it at? Where's it at? Where?
The drone moving out here to take a natural for Panda Bear me, and that's a very interesting position.
Right, I do see it. It moved out. It moved out. It is heading down the west side of the map to try to avoid scouting. If it avoids being scouted by this Overlord, this is going to be amazing. I don't think it's going to. It's going to be... Okay, so the Overlord does see the probe coming in.
But the probe, I don't know. Is he going to go all the way to the natural? A lot of Protossers will just assume that the expansion is in the natural and not even scout there. It looks like he's queued up to go. Oh, he canceled that. I don't know if he's going to go down there and check. If he doesn't, then he might be completely blindsided by this gold base.
Yeah, but you know what the thing is, though? Look at this. He doesn't see it. But you know what the thing is, though? I've noticed it on...
He goes down there. He went down there.
But you know what the thing is, though? You know what the new meta, if you want to call it that, is that at least on Vani, is that Zergs have been more and more and more frequently taking the gold bases first. You know,
Yeah.
and I don't know why it is. I think it's just because they're like, look, I can swarm with a few extra Zerglings. You know, I can get more Overlords. Whatever their reason is mentally, they decide that that's what they're gonna do. And you know, but out of the Protoss, we don't see that sort of like cheekiness. You know, that sort of like, I'm not taking my normal natural. The Protoss does take his natural, but he's still going, you know, regular Gateway Cybercore. However, he doesn't have any combat units. So if any Zerglings pour out of either of these bases,
Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting.
he's gonna be safe for a little bit here, but he definitely does not have that wall off completed. He has that gap there, but I don't think Panda Bear really wants to go contest that. He's taking his gold base here, so he probably just wants to try to defend that. It'd be interesting to see when he wants to take that third, and that's the thing, right? As soon as that Zerg gets that gold base and gets that increased mineral income, they become very scary. They can all of a sudden make like just a ton of Zerglings and still make like you know, roach warrens behind it and baling nests and
there's
and,
also,
you know,
and I've only seen this in one
here.
match, absolutely, and I want to comment before I forget it because like I'm not used to being the observer in this where everyone's staring at my screen for the purpose of the entire tournament. So by the way, I'm a little nervous. So I'm like focusing on what you're saying and not focusing on what's going on in the game. So I apologize if there's a battle going on. I'm new, I'm fresh.
Yeah, I'm usually the observer here, but it's gonna be a little bit of a learning experience for DJ. So that should be cool. It's always fun to like try something new. But it looks like a zealot and a mothership core are gonna head over to this gold base expansion, and it's gonna be a little bit hard. They're definitely gonna be able to take out the queen here if not micro properly. Canterbury is definitely gonna have to put some probes or some make some links here to deal with this. So.
And the thing is, I mean, the Zealot does go ahead and get a few shots in, but the Zerglings are going to be able to take care of it because it's not really being focused down. The Zealot's not being focused down. And the one thing that you could do with the gold base, and this is something that I was going to mention earlier, you don't see it too often, but it is a possibility. And what it is with that extra money, you can make a macro hatch and then do exactly what you described, where you flood the map with links, because now you've got extra larva, an extra queen, and extra income. And it's very cheap to do this as a Zerg because you're looking at only 300 minerals, and then within 60 seconds you got a new base, you know?
Yeah, you have so much mineral income that you can just make a macro hatch, you know, inject twice with your queen, or even just make another queen and just make so many links. And links are so cheap. He's going up to there, he's joining up super hard, and he's starting to get spore crawlers, and he's just in a very, very good position. I really like Panda Bear Meat's position. It's hard as a Protoss player to sort of punish this. And as we can see in the Protoss base, there's no tech yet, right? There's just a forge and a bunch of gateways and sentries. He hasn't chosen a tech path yet, and Panda Bear Meat's coming in here scouting, and he should be a little bit confused as to why there's no tech path. It's already 740, and there's no Robo or Stargate or Twilight Council.
Yeah, you're right. You know, now that I think about it, you're absolutely right. Like, usually you would have some determination, like, all right, we're going to go either Sentry Robo or some crazy stuff, because a lot of the thing now is like mass Sentry and then some other unit, right? That's been one of the trends. And the Sentry is for either Guardian Shield or Force Fields. You know, but he decides, hey, you know what? I don't need anything but sentries and probes and a mothership core. Let's drop this third.
Yeah, definitely. I think he can take this third. He has that forge. He can put down that cannon in the between those pylons. I think it's very safe to take this third. And he knows that his opponent, you know, went ahead and got that gold base up. Is probably gonna be droning up, and he has a bunch of loose phoenix to scout when he needs to. So I think he's definitely incredibly safe to take this third and then go for his tech choice. I actually really like this out of Sephiroth because. You know, he knows that his opponent is going to macro up with that gold base, and I think he can try to do the same thing himself. The problem is, now that there's the Hydra Den out, and Hydras are coming out, do you want to go up to Colossus?
Where is the Hydra Den? Am I missing this someplace?
It's in the main, directly next to the
Oh, you know what? I'm a dumbass. I was looking at the Roach thing, and I'm like, oh, it hasn't spawned yet, thinking that was a Hydra Den. So I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry, Roach Hydra, blah, blah, blah. Pluto said that right. I'm going to go be quiet now.
So... yeah, time out for DJ Spectre, but yeah, indeed, Hydras are around, and Hydras are pretty good against gateway units, but it's all dependent on the force field, and this is sort of a new meta thing for Protoss. Get a lot of force fields out, get a huge gateway army, and you don't really need the Colossus out just yet, but do you tech up to it is the question. He's going to go for a Twilight Council, Robo, and Stargate, just throws down every tech path at the same time, and...
You mean he's playing like Terran then, right?
He's playing like Terran, but I feel like he's just gonna go up to Blink, perhaps get an immortal or two. And
oh, and the Phoenix does not see the Hydro Force. The hallucinated Phoenix misses the entire advancement here coming at his base.
Okay.
He has no idea this Hydra and like 2-3 Roach Force is actually coming for him. I mean, he's got Stalkers and Sentries, so he should be able to hold. But the thing is, he doesn't know it's coming. And sometimes as Protoss, you need, like, well, I should say any player, you need that.
You don't know it's coming, and you don't have the reaction time, because, yeah, it can definitely jump on you. But you just throw up on an overcharge, force flip some of these Hydras, and you should be good. Oh, get to the Mothership Core, though. That's
wow, that was a great snipe, actually. He went in, and you know how many units he lost? He lost, like, 37 health off of 2 units. Like, that's it. Like, he lost...
He lost nothing, got a Mothership Core for free, and baited out the floating overcharge. So, just wait until that floating overcharge is done, and then all of a sudden, there's not going to be another one left, so...
No, and not even that. He's still... Even if he gets another... Even if he chrono boosts out another Mothership Core, he's not going to have enough energy on that thing for, like, almost 2 minutes before he's able to get a photon overcharge. Maybe a minute and a half? Is it a minute and a half? I think it's a minute and a half. But holy cow, look at this force walking in now. It is Roach Hydra versus nothing in air and all Stalkers.
Yeah, a lot of Stalkers. Blink is not done yet, which is a little bit of a problem here. And more Hydras on the way. This is a very, on paper, it's a very effective composition for Zerg. It all depends on the force field. And looks like he's going to get some pretty good force fields right away. A couple of sentries do go down here. So if you get some good force fields off, you should be able to hold here. But this is still a very effective composition out of our Zerg players.
Yeah, it is, and unfortunately, like, it's just, I think it's actually just too much for the, you know, I'm gonna say, whatever, our Protoss player, he's actually getting, unfortunately, he's getting wrecked. He throws up Guardian Shield to try to keep his units alive as long as possible, but it just doesn't look like he's going to be able to hold. I mean, he keeps reinforcing. I mean, with only a few units at a time, the Zerg player is sending a few more Hydras across the map, and unfortunately, Hydras are the death of Stalkers in StarCraft 2, and so he's trying to do the best he can for Blink Micro. He loses his third base. He's got Stalkers on the high ground, but he's not able to hold this, and without enough sentries, he cannot force field this off and separate this Hydra group. He is going to lose a lot here, if not everything, and GG is called.
Yep, and Panda Bear Me is going to be able to take game number 1 in our best of 1. So Panda Bear Me does move on there, so very nicely done by Panda Bear Me. And once again, these are two very high-level players, both Grandmasters. Actually, Sephiroth might be High Masters. Sephiroth is High Masters, not Grandmaster, but still very high-level play out of both players here. So nicely done by Panda Bear Me, and we're going to head into another game pretty soon here.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, by the way, because I am streaming, I get this repeated thing where it's like, achievement service is disabled, achievement service has been restored, achievement service has been disabled. If I say it one more time and it's annoying you viewers, that's because it's annoying me also. So I did rejoin the ESL chat, so by the way, if you need to find me, I'm not in our party, but I am in the ESL chat again. So,
So I think we're going to go ahead and cast Neeblit versus... Kai in the
I love Neeblit. Why? You know what the thing is? Okay, so this is gonna sound funny. Like, there's a... I keep thinking of the old, like, gamer term, nooblet. Remember that? Like, you're not a noob, you're a nooblet. Like, you're below noob. You're like a baby noob. And this goes back to, like, when you used to play, like, Unreal Tournament and stuff. So if anyone, by the way, in the chat has actually ever heard the term nooblet in regards to, like, Unreal Tournament, let me know and give a shout out to the old FPS scene. Word hype. But, literally, that's what I feel like doing this tournament. Because I'm like, oh my god, is the camera where it needs to be? Like, mentally, I'm, like, freezing. Like, I'm having, like, a brain, not like a brain fart, but, like, a brain deluge of disaster. Like,
yeah,
like I don't know how you do it. You're talking with me who doesn't shut up and trying to respond, and then you're like clicky clacky keyboard and admitting and overlay and music and oh my god, my brain exploded. That's what I feel like.
That you have to work on, but like you know, we're StarCraft players. We have to multitask at all points.
You can so what you're trying to say very subtly is that my macro is not very strong.
you gotta, you know, up have that, or not up have. What am I saying? You gotta go back to your 4E.
4E. Hold on, I'm putting a thing. There we go. I just hashtagged DJ Spectre macro fail in the chat.